Alright, so I just wanted to stop by and tell you about something interesting I found out the other night. I was in Moe's with my mom, and we were sitting down to lunch, and I saw this kind of picture right next to me that was drawn of this man with crazy glasses on, and he was in a suit. He was pretty smiley. And my mom told me his name was Buddy Holly, and over the course of lunch, she told me all about his life and his death, and I thought it was pretty interesting, so I wanted to share that with you. So, Buddy Holly was a musician in the 50s. He was a pretty cool guy. And one of the things that he liked to do was go on tour because he liked to see his fans. So he booked this tour called the Winter Dance Party Tour. And on this tour, he brought along Waylon Jennings, who was a country musician at the time. He brought in Richie Valens, who was a Latin pop singer. And then he also brought in a bunch of other guys, Tommy Alsop, and then another of the big ones he brought in, no pun intended, was the Big Bopper. And so they're all on the way there, and they're all stuck on this bus, and the heater broke. So they're in these freezing cold temperatures, and when I say freezing, I mean literally. One of their drummers actually caught hypothermia and almost died. So they're all in this bus together, and Buddy Holly gets the grand idea to buy some plane tickets. And he buys these plane tickets. He buys three of them, and they go to Waylon Jennings, Buddy Holly, and Richie Valens. And Waylon Jennings, right off the bat, decides, hey, I'm not going to feel like a good guy doing this because the Big Bopper is, again, no pun intended, so much bigger than I am. He says he's going to be really uncomfortable in that freezing cold bus, so I'm just going to be the good guy. I'm going to give him my ticket. He doesn't have to worry about asking or anything like that. Buddy Holly keeps his ticket because he's the headliner. He's got to get there fresh and free, get the chance to change his clothes, get some rest. And so that leaves us with Richie Valens, who was challenged by Tommy Alsop, who was just a backup musician. Tommy Alsop says, "Hey, I want your seat," and Richie Valens says, "Okay, listen. What I'll do for you is if we split a coin, if it's heads up, then I get to keep the seat, and you're stuck in the bus. And if it's tails up, then you can have my seat, and I'll stay in the bus, and we'll see how fate kicks it out." So they all flip the coin, and it ends up being heads up. So Richie Valens stays in the plane, and as they're like having their closing conversation, it's just friendly, witty banter. Um, the Big Bopper says to Waylon Jennings, he says, "I hope your bus freezes," and Waylon Jennings replies, "I hope your plane crashes," which to this day he's still totally distraught about it. He still feels terrible about it, because that's what happened. I mean, they get on the bus, and then Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, and Buddy Holly, they all get on the plane instead, and they leave at 1 o'clock in the morning, and the plane barely makes it out of town before it goes, one of the wings hits the ground, and then it just spirals out of control, and the three of them are thrown from the plane completely. They get killed on impact. It was instantaneous, but the pain was felt by their families, by all their fans, and it was just insane. They called it the day the music died. And if you ever hear the song American Pie by Don McLean, that's kind of an homage to that day. Um, Interesting to note, Tommy Alsop actually opened up a bar called the Heads Up Saloon because kind of an homage of getting that heads up saved his life instead of the tails up. And so he ended up not being on that plane. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. I wanted to share it with you. It's pretty sad, honestly, but all in all, I thought it was kind of something you would see in a movie, all the irony and the drama involved. But there you go. Thank you for taking 4.5, 5 minutes out of your day to listen to me rant about something that happened 60 years ago. Appreciate it. Um, Again, thank you for your time.